What's up, y'all? It's Dontavious Hill, three-time Team USA high jumper, five-time NCAA All-American, currently with a personal best of 7 feet 5 inches and ranked top 30 in the world in the high jump. And when I first started high jumping, my personal best wasn't even 5 feet, and I was 15 years old. So started out at 4'8". By my senior year of high school, I was a 7-footer on track and was able to secure a scholarship to Auburn University and, go to school, get my engineering degree, had a great collegiate career. First year professional after my great 4 years in college. I went to Olympic trials and competed out there. And yeah, and my journey was a great thing. But throughout those 11 plus years of learning in the high jump, I now coach high school athletes, and I've coached over 100 athletes to be able to secure personal best in the high jump, to be able to actually get scholarship opportunities, be able to actually go to campus and attend college and get free degrees and all of the above, right? Throughout my time, I've had athletes go from jumping in the 5 feet ranges to getting to the 6 feet ranges. I've had athletes go from jumping, mid sixes to being in high sixes, from being in the 6'4", 6'5" range all the way up to the 6'8", 6'10" range, right? All of this is possible when you know exactly what you should be doing, right? So today, what we're talking about is the difference between, having a shallow curve and having a curve where you actually come around the curve and have more of a, I would say, a rounded curve, okay? So what usually happens in a high jump when an athlete isn't able to get around their curve is just usually too shallow, right? And when I say too shallow, if you look here at number 2, when an athlete is running their curve and they kind of get too far down and they're not able to turn much, this is what I would call a shallow curve, right? And this is why you have high school athletes who can have like a 7 feet width or a 6 feet width away from the bar. It's because they don't have much of a curve. They're not running a curve. They're almost running straight at the bar and having this little bit of turn at the end. And when you have something like this affects your ability to actually go over the bar properly. This affects your ability to actually rotate. This stops you from getting into proper high jump technique over the bar, just not having a curve, not being able to run a curve, right? And when we get to number 1, when we can actually have more of a curved approach, this is what allows us to generate rotation over the bar. This allows us to get past the bar. This allows us to get into our layout going over the bar. So we want to be number 1. We don't want to be number 2, right? And this just doesn't change based off of where you put your mark, right? It don't matter where you put your mark at. You can still be 1 or 2, right? With that being said, it is important to have the proper width and length for your approach. But the end all be all of how shallow / how curved your approach is comes from the way that you actually run your approach, right? So if you are getting down too shallow, most times the reason is you are not using your outside foot in your approach. So as a high jumper, sometimes, and me in the past, I was very used to just only like using my left foot to run because that's the foot we jump off of. So, I jump off of and I'm running my approach and my left foot's coming down and I'm just preparing, boom, 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 and taking off on the left, right? That type of concept and that kind of thinking allowed me to neglect my right foot, right? But neglecting my right foot, it kept me from being able to generate even better momentum and speed coming through here. Because if you think about it, think about the difference between running on 1 foot and running on 2 feet. That's exactly what's happening when you do not, it's exactly what's happening when you do not have, this curve. It's almost like running on 1 foot the whole way. So as a high jumper, you want to make sure you're using both of your legs. So this is something you literally have to practice. Whenever you're running your approach, you have to pop, pop, pop. You have to actually think about using both of your feet. As a high jumper, if you're a young athlete and you've currently only been able to use, one of your, or not even notice that you've used one of your feet, sometimes you'll see athletes who were kind of ached up and bruised on that main leg, not just because they're jumping from it, but because they're only using it when they're only using that leg when they're running to the bar as well. So benefits of using both feet. Number one, less stress on your jumping leg. Number two, you're able to actually get around the curve better and generate better positions over the bar, right? So that's really what we're going for here, right? And the way that you can actually achieve this is through actually practicing it in your run up. Whenever you're doing a run up, whenever you're even like doing sprints or whenever you're doing all these different things, you should be thinking about, is my right foot working? Or if you're a right foot jumper, is my left foot working? Right? You have to be thinking about these things, right? And when it comes to actually improving in the high jump, the way that I actually implement this with my athletes is through my system, right? We give them a series of drills. I actually write their training for them and actually show them exactly what they need to do to be improving. And the way that it actually works is we start with mindset first. So I give my athletes all the tools that they need to actually become a mental warrior in the high jump, as I like to call it, right? With high jump being such a mental event and a mental sport, the very first thing that we have to do as a coach to get our athletes in position is to get their mindset right. If we have an athlete who does not have the mindset for the sport, who is not confident in themselves, who does not think they can jump high, you're just not going to get very good results out of that. Right? This athlete is going to struggle, so we have to tackle mindset first, right? And that's exactly what we do inside of my program, the High Jump Blueprint. So mindset. When we get our athletes better at mindset, we work on their actual high jump technique and their actual training, right? So all of the specific drills that I've done over my 10 plus 11 years in the sport that's allowed me to go from 4.8 to 7.5, I give all of these drills to my athletes. Everything that I do at the high jump apron, all of my athletes have access to. So they're basically training like a professional, right? So high jump. They get access to all things high jump, and they also get access to me for film analysis, all right? I've had athletes improve by 3 inches, within a 2-week period, right? Going from like 6 feet to 6'3", specifically off of film analysis and specific drills that I've administered to my athletes, right? So things like that, great to see, right? And from that point, when we get our athletes doing the proper drills, get them doing, everything they need to be doing in practice at the high jump apron, I actually design their training plan for them. So weight training, plyometrics, sprints, all of the above to actually help them become a more athletic high jumper, a more powerful high jumper, right? So training. And when we have all of these things, when all of these things are working together, right? When they all work together, we get to the point where our athlete has improved so much that they're in position to actually get recruited. They're in position to actually get scholarship to actually compete at the next level. And from that point, I'll be actually helping your athlete get recruited. So our goal is to reach out to coaches and also get them official visit opportunities as well as scholarship offer opportunities, or just the opportunity to visit the campus and see what the campus is like, right? These are the kind of things that we're trying to create for our families who are a part of the program. It's a family experience, and we want to help the athletes succeed, but we also want our parents to have a great experience and see their child actually get to their goals, right? So from that point, we go to recruitment, right? So just to recap my entire system, guys, we go from mindset, teach them how to get their mind right, high jump technique, all the technical drills that I've used over my 10 plus years in the sport. Then I design their training plan. Also using my decade of experience in weightlifting training that's allowed me to go from 4'8" to 7'5", or from high school to college, 7 feet to 7'5". The specific lifts they should be doing, and all of this combined will allow them to get in position to get on scholarship radar and get them a chance to earn free college for their high jump performance. So if you're the parent of a high school high jumper and you're actually interested in helping your child get better in the sport and actually help them achieve their goals, whether they want to jump a personal record, whether they want to break a school record, go to state, actually get a scholarship, all of these things, this is really where that happens, right? So if you guys want to do any of those things for your child, then book a call with me down below, and we're going to hop on a free high jump strategy session where I'm going to walk through where your athlete currently is, where they want to get to, and how I can help, right? And from that point, I'm going to design a plan for you guys. And if you guys want to implement that plan, that will consist of actually joining the program and seeing what the inside of it looks like so we can actually help your child. So if you're interested in this, guys, like I said, parents, please book a call with me down below and we can get you guys plugged in.